In my first year of training the planche, I was super motivated at different points. I was excited to train. I trained as many times as I could safely, and I just thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Despite that, however, I also gave up 4 times during that same year. And what that taught me, and what I've come to learn over these years, is that progress in calisthenics and a lot of things is built on consistency, how many times you do something and for how long, as well as training properly, which is like the knowledge behind it. And these two things depend on how much you know of the topic already and your experience in it. But both of them are always important no matter where you're at, right? And when I first started training planche, I did a lot of research, I did a lot of training, and that's why in the beginning I did pretty well, right? I was making a lot of progress. But as I kind of stopped, as I slowed down a bit, my progress stopped as well. And I wasn't sure why I wasn't progressing. I believed I was still doing the right thing. I was still training. I was still getting after it, you know? As my motivation kind of died down a bit, though, after that initial rise in the beginning, I also stopped training as much as well. And that's how a lot of people fail. They don't fail because they don't know something or because they're unsure of how to train. You can easily do a quick YouTube search and find a lot of exercises that you can do. They fail because they stop showing up. They don't see progress and they just give up. So in this video, I'm going to hopefully talk to you through how I kind of kept going after those times and how I've never quit since that last time, which was like more than a year ago. So my name is Amit, and I try to help you become a better calisthenics athlete and grow more muscle, get more strength, and show you how you can change your life using calisthenics like I have. And if you're interested, I offer private coaching, first link in the description. So if you think you'd enjoy that, and if you think it would help you, feel free to look at it. Yeah. So your motivation comes from seeing results. And this could be someone else's results, and it kind of inspires you to start something, or it could be your own. And in my experience, this one is always the most powerful one because it means that I've done something good. And so you're more likely to keep going when you see results because of this, because you get more motivated and you're just happier to be doing what you're doing. So I figured this out last year, and what I did to kind of keep going even during times where I was plateauing was I gave myself more results to see. And what this means was I kind of broke down progressions into mini progressions, and therefore there were more checkpoints I could hit and more basically successes I could find. And this really helped me because, as you know, if you've been training planche, the progressions between each level are pretty far apart, like at least a couple months for most people. And so it could be hard to keep going when you're stuck at the same place for a long period of time. So what I started doing was splitting those progressions up into smaller pieces, basically, to make it more exciting and like see more progress. So for the planche, which was the first skill that I started training, what I did was I broke the tuck planche into, you could do like one leg on the floor and one leg in a tuck planche, and you could go all throughout the progression. So you could do one leg advanced tuck, you could do one leg planche, you could do, for the straddle progressions, I just kind of calculated based on the bend of my knees and the bend of my legs, and that those were all kind of progressions, and I could choose how small or big I wanted them to be, right? And that made it a lot easier to keep going because I was seeing the slow but constant improvement, rather than if I just went, all right, tuck planche, and then I kept going and I might have given up because I couldn't move on from the tuck planche because the next goal was a bit too far away, right? And so that was really the biggest thing that helped me with the planche in this past year. It helped me keep going, and that's why I've made so much progress. For the handstand, I started a lot later, which was a mistake, but I came up with this strategic kind of game. It was this 4-square game where the first square was I achieved the handstand with good form. The second square was I achieved the handstand with bad form. The third was I didn't achieve the handstand, but I did use good form. And the fourth was the worst. I didn't achieve the handstand and I didn't have good form. And what this made me do was, instead of being frustrated in the beginning that I was never catching the handstand, I would purposefully make my form as good as possible as many times as I could, because that made me happier in a way than holding it with bad form. So every single attempt, or most attempts, I tried to use as good form as possible for the handstand. And as you know, in the beginning, you can never hold it, or it's very lucky that you hold it. And so instead of like giving up because I wasn't holding the handstand, or kind of making it easier by cheating on the form, I made this sort of drawing or game in order to help me progress and kind of give me motivation to keep going. Because every time I did an attempt, I would analyze it in my head and see if I was doing good form or not. And so even if I failed, but I did good form, I would still be proud of myself because at least I did something. And without this game, I don't think I would try as much to keep the form pure and good. And I think this really helped me progress fast in the handstand, because it kept me motivated, and because of that, I kept doing it. I kept practicing like almost everywhere, and it just became one of my favorite skills, because it's like, it's so fun. I don't know. Yeah, it's just amazing. FYI, this game could also work for any skill. Front lever, planche, I guess even a muscle up if you know good form and bad form. I don't know. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. I definitely recommend trying it whenever you're trying to learn something new for calisthenics, or I guess weightlifting. I don't really know. But yeah, so it's easy to train when you're motivated, right? You want to work out, you want to progress, and that makes it fun. But discipline is important too, right? But in my opinion, it should be kind of used as a last resort, because yes, it is very, very powerful, very good to increase discipline. But in my experience, the planche and the handstand and the other skills have been so fun because the journey itself has been fun. I haven't had to like drag myself to the gym or to the park many times. Maybe 10 times in 2 years, and that, I think that's why it's been so fun, because it's something I actually enjoy doing. It's something I want to do, and yeah, it just makes it super enjoyable, right? Like, so that's why I think motivation and increasing it can really help you increase your calisthenics progress directly. And that's why I made this video, so you can try to increase that shit, make it more. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Do the algorithm stuff if you want, and I'll see you in the next one.